Man, what's shaking? This is Matty Crypto. A couple of days ago, I had the pleasure of sitting down with KG. He's the founder of a cryptocurrency called Internet Money, and it's currently on the Binance Smart Chain. He's getting ready to move it over to the Pulsechain. So I thought it would be a great episode of the Pulsechain Podcast. After I recorded this, the video on my side was horrible. His video was great. Mine was bad. The audio came out pretty good. So we had a problem. Do we just use the audio and post that everywhere podcasts are, Spotify, Apple, Amazon Music, or do we do that and take the video and audio and post it on YouTube like I've done the last 4 or 5 weeks for the Pulsechain Podcast? I wanted people to have it on both places. Sometimes you just want to see people interact, but the video quality on mine is so bad, I had problems with that. So I reached back out to KG and he said, just put it up there, man. If people want to see it, they'll want to see it. They want to listen to it. They can do that too. So I wanted to give the option. So it's going to be on YouTube. Here it is coming after this little rant of mine. I hope you enjoy it. I had a great time sitting down with KG. This is a really exciting project they've got right now, the Internet Money. I hope you guys learn a lot. Have a fantastic day and enjoy. Man, what's shaking? This is Matty Crypto, and welcome to the 5th episode of the Pulsechain Podcast. Today, I've got a special guest. He is the founder of a fairly new cryptocurrency called Internet Money, IM. And his name is KG. I'm excited to have him on here because I've been talking to him for a couple of weeks now in Telegram and on Twitter. And I think it's going to be a great addition to the Pulsechain Podcast.
Hey, thanks for having me.
You are welcome. I've been looking into this, and we talked off screen here about Internet Money a little bit. And I mentioned to you that I looked into it initially for a few days, and it seemed so simple and so great, almost like one of those moments where you think of how come somebody hadn't thought of this before, because of how simple it is and how few things that you can do. And the simplicity of it is something we're going to touch on later in the podcast. But then I read the black paper, and then it just clicked. And I mentioned to you that was kind of that moment where I was like, oh my goodness, if this thing works like it's supposed to work, this is going to be something special. And you're the founder of this cryptocurrency, but you've also been an administrator on Pulsechain Telegram groups and also a moderator on Hex and Pulsechain subreddit. So, where did you start in crypto? What's your origin story?
Okay, I love origin stories. Part of my origin story is a little bit embarrassing, but it's the truth, so I'll tell it. So I first saw crypto when I was in high school, and I may or may not have been browsing the Silk Road. But when I was or was not browsing that, I saw Bitcoin at $80, and high school me thought, oh my goodness, that's so much money. So I didn't buy any, of course. I didn't know what to do with it. So I passed up on it. Now, Elon Musk is pumping Dogecoin, about to go on to Saturday Night Live. And my uncle is major into Dogecoin. And I just ape in on Dogecoin. I lost money because I bought at 55-ish cents, rode it up to 74. Oh my gosh, I'm going to be rich. And then it crashed. Ultimately sold at the bottom, but flipped my losses into Hex thanks to my father and one of his friends who got me into Hex. And here we are today. That's all she wrote.
Wow. So $80 Bitcoin, man. It's funny. Tokens like that, not just like Bitcoin, but any cryptocurrency, when you're looking at it, it's all relative to the time that you're looking. I remember, this is going to be a whole separate podcast one day, that kind of my origin story with crypto is in 2010, someone told me about Bitcoin, and I have to explain that because it was brutal, because I don't know what it was in 2010, but it was probably a penny or less. It was nuts.
Oh my gosh.
And needless to say, it was pretty painful too, man. So don't be embarrassed. But the Dogecoin thing, that stuff to me is so dangerous, and it's so easy to get into just because everybody is talking about it. Most people that are not even familiar with crypto, that's their first experience. And that's something that I've got notes in this podcast about. I want people's first experience to be Pulsechain and Pulsechain related stuff and Hex, because the community is so good and the code is so great. It's been proven with Hex as far as audits and stuff. So that it's going to save people so much frustration by being introduced to great projects first. Like if this is your first experience and someone tells you about Pulsechain, you don't really realize how great that is for you in your future. You mentioned Hex.
Exactly.
When did you get into Hex? What was your first experience with that?
My first Hex buy was at 3 cents.
Ah,
So
that feel
not,
good.
it feels great. I can't call myself a day one OG, but I mean, I was in pre-double digits. So,
Do you know when that was? How long ago, or like what the date was?
it was shortly after Elon Musk's Saturday Night Live. So
Okay,
it's
so not
been
long ago.
a year-ish.
Okay, wow. Thinking about 3 cent Hex, man. I remember people talking about this is never going to get to a penny. And when I got into Hex, I
Nice.
was a day one Hexagon. I was talking to Richard Hart. It was just super fortunate, honestly. Probably 6 to 9 months before Hex went live, it was still Bitcoin Hex
Whoa.
at the time. So, but again, it's all relative to the time you're in. I just went through tons of ICOs and bad projects and scams, and it just left a bad taste. So, getting that when you learn about Hex so early like that, I didn't know what it would be. I just knew that this Richard Hart guy was super smart, and the complexity and the beauty behind Hex really was attractive to me. So I went crazy fairly early. With obviously day one, I went in like so many other people. We FOMO'd into day one when he warned us over and over not to do that, but I had to do it, man. So as far as this token, the internet money token, and the ecosystem you have, first of all, it's obviously called Internet Money. I think it's a great name.
Thank you.
And second off, I think it fills a big need that people have. Basically, simplicity in crypto. Almost everything related to crypto right now is for advanced users. And new people, no coiners, they need a basic way to get involved in cryptocurrency. And because Internet Money targets those people, like specifically, Internet Money targets those new people, this can be, in my opinion, it can be a big home run for crypto. And if someone is listening to you for the first time, how do you explain internet money to someone who may not know about crypto? Like what exactly is this?
It's money on the internet. So
That's it.
that's really it. And I know it seems maybe like a cop out, but still I have a hard time explaining to my mom or people, no coiners, like you said, what crypto really is. And it really is that simple. It is money on the internet. What can you do with internet money? You can buy it, sell it, trade it, send it. It's as simple as a contract gets. It is peer-to-peer digital cash on Pulsechain, which is going to be the premier blockchain. So unlike, it's what Bitcoin wanted to be. An hour to 4 hours to send a transaction isn't okay. We're going to be sending transactions in seconds. And that's going to be a slow day.
Yeah.
So
God. And how great is that if Bitcoin is a thing that introduced you to crypto, or someone sent you some Bitcoin, or maybe if you had it years ago and you just never paid attention to crypto, you got used to that. I remember Bitcoin and you didn't know any different. So you'd send Bitcoin or get some Bitcoin and you'd sit and wait for these confirmations. And it was like having dial-up internet. You didn't realize how much it sucked until something else came out. And you look back on Bitcoin like, wow, the code it's not good code. Richard Hart calls it spaghetti code. And it really is. It's awful. So
yeah,
what he's done with Hex and now Pulsechain, I think it's going to change everything. And I know that sounds kind of hyperbolic, but I think it's true. I think Pulsechain is going to change the narrative of crypto and especially DeFi. This is to me what DeFi was always meant to be. Hex, Pulsechain, that true immutable, like you're saying, no taxes, no inflation, no admin keys. That stuff to me is so valuable. So if it's as simple as, would you say, buy, sell, trade, that's such an easy sell to people. And one reason why I love what you're doing, and I really want to support OG Hexagons, is when you guys that I know that have been in Pulse and have been exposed to Richard Hart and so many good people, when Hexagons create something, I want to support that. I'm almost exclusively a Richard Hart maximalist now. Give me Hex, give me Pulsechain, give me Pulse X, and project like what you're doing. We have everything we need right here. And it's weird to actually say that out loud because I don't want to minimize other things that could possibly be out there. But every time I look at Pulsechain and Hex and the things that we have going on, like internet money and stuff, I don't know if we'll ever need anything else because it's kind of a closed ecosystem. And you were like a true OG day one Pulse sacrificer, right? I mean, you didn't get the Hex day one, but you were in there with Pulsechain, right?
Absolutely. I can wear the badge of honor day one Pulse OG and day one Pulse X OG too.
We're in this for 15 years. All of us who are into Hex,
Sure.
most of us, almost all of us have at least one 15-year stake. It doesn't have to be a big one, a million Hex or something. It can be small for that multiplier. It's impressive. But we're going to be all friends talking to each other about Pulse and Hex related stuff for at least 15 years. And then when one comes due, you got a stake of a Hex stake. It's, a year or two out. When that one comes mature, take a little profit. We're going to throw that out probably 15 years. So this family is going to be here forever. Blockchain is going to be here forever. We can't stop this stuff. That's one of the joys about the Pulse community. We're not in and out of a lot of different cryptos. We're not trying to dump on people's heads. We're not all about ourselves and making money. The community is so important. It is the number one thing about a cryptocurrency to me is how strong and genuine the community is. So you being into Hex and liking this kind of thing and going to Pulsechain and being an OG from a Pulse standpoint really gives a lot of credibility to who you are.
Thank you. I like you. I got lucky. If you like The Matrix, I don't know, it's my favorite movie.
Love it.
My father and his friend were total Morpheus. They pulled me right out, showed me the light.
Really?
Oh my gosh! If it wasn't for them, I wouldn't be in Hex. I just got lucky.
So that's what got you in. Your dad.
Yes, actually, if I'll give him a shout out. If you know Don Montoya, if you ever see him out there, he's in Telegram all the time too. He got into Hex a little earlier than me, but the friend who got us in, he's not a day one either, but he's closer to day one. So as the line goes down of who pulled us in, we get closer to day ones.
Yeah. People always talk about the OG thing. And are you only an OG if you're a day one Hex again? Is it under a penny? And it's such a funny conversation to have. But man, if you got into Hex, if you knew about it and bought some Hex under 10 cents, that might be the true OG if we're looking years and years from now. If Hex is going to hit, $5, $10, God forbid it's $100. If you can tell someone, yeah, I bought Hex under 10 cents, that's going to seem crazy 5 or 10 years from now. So, I mean, I mentioned teams and stuff and Richard Hart and all of the good stuff he's done. Another great thing it's impressive about a feather you can put in your cap is one of the devs that's working with you guys on internet money is Victor. He's one of the lead developers with a lot of the projects Richard Hart has done. Can you tell us some details kind of behind who he is and what he did for Richard, like his role in internet money?
Sure. So Victor, awesome cat. You might know him as the guy who built pulsechain.com, the new Hex website, pulsex.com, richardhart.com. He also designed the logos. He's a branding wizard, and he actually has some back-end skills as well. So he is our full stack developer.
So he's a developer, front end and back end, and does like design as far as logos and stuff.
Oh yeah,
that's crazy. He's like a unicorn.
He's a unicorn.
That's
and he actually jumps on the phone.
It's crazy, man. And that's such a big compliment because Richard Hart, obviously the guy, he's a self-made man, millionaire in his 20s. He can afford the best. And I know he wanted the best with Hex and Pulse, and it runs flawlessly. We talk about it all the time, how Hex it's been up. The uptime of Hex is 100% over 2 years. I don't know if a cryptocurrency has ever done that. Never had a hiccup, never had a hack, always been up 100% of the time. How'd you guys land him?
How did we meet Vic? I think I just met him through, I met Victor. We have a chat that is for the mods of the subreddit.
Okay.
And I met him through there. We just started talking, and then one thing led to another, and here we are.
He's got to be a super busy panda working with just Richard Hart related stuff. So when I was looking into internet money the first few days, I came across that in a video that you had. I think it was, is it Corey? You did
Yes.
a interview with Corey in late December. And I don't know if you mentioned it there or in the comments or something. Someone mentioned that. And then I did some more research and heard you say it specifically. I'm like, man, this is, it leads so much more credibility to internet money having someone, the caliber of Victor on there, because people are going to be flooding into Pulsechain. Lots of developers, lots of projects,
yeah.
and frankly, a lot of scams are going to be here. Just because Pulsechain is a great, fast, wonderfully coded blockchain, it's not going to stop hackers or spammers and scammers from being in here. So I didn't know about internet money, so I wanted to do some research. There's going to be a lot of projects coming out, and if you don't know the creator, or they just hide behind an avatar, you don't know who the
Yes.
devs are, you don't know anything about it. Is it immutable? Do they talk about it? Are they open? Those are projects that I don't want people to get involved in. But project like this, where it's so simple and we see your face but kind of know you and your track record, and like I mentioned, Victor's on board, these are just more positive things. As far as internet money currently as it exists, it's on Binance Smart Chain. How long has it been live on that chain?
We launched late November, so
Okay.
almost 2 months, or 2 months actually.
Is there a reason that you chose to launch it on Binance Smart Chain as opposed to waiting for Pulse?
Yes. So we did that for 2 reasons. Or yeah, we did it for a few reasons. So first of all, we wanted to just test out the mechanics. We wanted to see what the adoption level would be. We wanted to see how people took to it. We also wanted to start building our community around it so that when we came onto Pulse Chain, we weren't just a new coin with everybody else. We already have 400 wallets, and our Telegram, we have about 450 members. So yeah, so when you compare that to 60,000 in Pulse Chain, it may not sound like much,
Right.
but for a small project that's growing and up and coming, 450, and it's a good community, quality people. We didn't pay for a bunch of bots. The final benefit is we wanted to bring awareness to Pulse Chain on the Binance Smart Chain. So we have a lot of people in our community and that find our project strictly through Binance Smart Chain.
Mm-hmm.
And because we're doing a one-to-one airdrop from BSC to Pulse Chain, we've actually onboarded several people who didn't even know Pulse Chain existed, but now they do, and they're excited about it. We've converted a few people to PulseX sacrificers, Richard Hart guys and girls. So so that was the reason. Those are the reasons for that.
Because if you didn't, you'd be starting brand new on Pulse Chain. The advantage, like you're saying, and you mentioned about bots and stuff, there are tons of bots in Telegram, but I've been in your Telegram room numerous times, and you're right. There's over 400 people, and there are no bots in there. It's real people, like a lot of Hex Telegram groups. They're so good at eliminating bots, and the admins and the people that donate their time. How awesome it is to be in this community where so many people give hours and hours and hours of their time. It's awesome. It's one of the great things about Hex and Pulse. At any time of day, any time zone you're in, any country you're living in, you can get in these Telegram groups and ask questions, and you get bombarded by good people answering your questions, no matter how many times they've heard silly questions before. But back to the Binance chain, since it's on the Binance chain, internet money, it isn't going to be a token that's included in the fork from Ethereum over to Pulse Chain. How will you get that on the Pulse Chain if it's not included in the airdrop?
So we're still talking about the mechanics here. We initially were going to go with a claim feature, but then we realized that puts an extra layer, it puts an extra step on the user. And we're all about simplicity. And we realized that it puts the workload and the burden on the user. So we actually learned today, you're the first one that is hearing this information. We learned today that it's possible to do an airdrop, and then we take the burden, we pay for the gas, we do all of those things. I can't go into the deep mechanics of it because I'm still getting my feet wet with it. But I think the way it's going to happen is you're just going to have to import the token like you do any other token.
Okay.
And it's going to be there. We're going to airdrop it to you.
It'll be airdropped in the MetaMask, not your app. Is that what you're talking about?
No, unless you import your seed into the app.
Okay, I see. So if I don't have the Internet Money app, and we'll touch on that in a few minutes, if I've just got a MetaMask and I'm on Ethereum blockchain and I switch over that one little click, I can get on the Pulse blockchain. That's where I'm going to see my Internet Money tokens.
Yep.
Okay. God, that's awesome, man. That's seamless, because I remember you were kind of juggling with an airdrop or a claim feature, like you're saying, and I was just wondering how in the world would a claim feature work, because so many people that may be new to crypto, one of the great things about Internet Money is onboarding new people.
Exactly.
Would they know how to claim? I don't know. So that would be one more step, like you're saying, that would suck for people to have to figure out how to claim.
Exactly. And then what happens if someone can't claim, or, hey, we missed the claim window, or
Right.
I don't even want anyone with the bad taste in their mouth. So if we have to pay a little extra to make sure everybody gets it, let's just do it that way.
Love it. And like you said, you're paying for the gas and stuff. So even though gas on Pulsechain, people are going to be shocked when you're used to Ethereum doing transactions stuff on Ethereum. When you look at a like right now, I've got bleeding stakes that I literally can't unstake. It's too expensive to do. So the Pulsechain thing, when we're talking about pennies or possibly fractions of a cent to do transactions, that's going to be incredible. When this gets forked over to Pulsechain, are there going to be any changes to the actual contract as it currently is now? Are you going to make any kind of changes when it goes over to Pulsechain?
To the contract itself, no. It's still going to be no admin keys, no taxes, no inflation. It's still going to be a basic peer-to-peer contract.
Okay.
But we are implementing a new feature called the vote to burn. And we're implementing that to A, keep community engagement, and B, deflate the supply. So it actually, Internet Money rivals fiat money, because whereas fiat inflates, Internet Money deflates. But the deflation doesn't happen within the contract itself. The deflation happens through a community event. And I can go into those details, or if you wanted to save that for later, we could do that too.
I guess we can hit on both of them. And you mentioned also, before we hit the buy and burn, you mentioned the Internet Money has no taxes. For people who don't understand what that means, what do you mean by no taxes?
If you go on to Binance Smart Chain right now, every poop coin has taxes. SafeMoon has taxes. That's just one example. And what that means is these tokens are set up to where when you buy them and when you sell them, it charges you a tax, and that tax goes to a developer wallet or a marketing wallet or a founder wallet or whatever. We don't have that. You can buy Internet Money, sell Internet Money at any given second, and it's not going to charge you taxes. And not like your government's dirty fiat either. Tax free.
Love it. God, love it. It's something like we're talking about the ETH fees and how you just get used to it. The taxes embedded in a lot of this stuff, you're used to it. Like sometimes I'll pay 10% to get into something, or you get out of something. Yeah, silly stuff like that. And you get out of it, it's like, well, it's a 1% devs fee or something to get out. And it sucks that we've got to get used to that. And people like you come along with Internet Money and say no taxes. Like, what? So this is free. But transactions on Pulsechain is almost free. Getting in and out of these transactions, you guys, I have no taxes. It's great things being stacked on great things. And I don't want anybody to miss these key points that if you're unfamiliar with crypto, taxes and these buy-ins and fees is just part of the game right now. So the joy of Pulsechain and project like Internet Money to take that stuff away and make it as seamless and simplistic as possible is really important. What exactly is the buy and burn?
Okay, so we have a burn event going on right now, which is the buy and burn. And for every one IM, Internet Money, purchased on the Binance Smart Chain, 2 IM will be burnt on Pulsechain. So we're making that up to put buy pressure now, and it should be a pump of mental, because immediately when we launch on Pulsechain, we're going to do a burn event, and there's going to be less than is on Binance Smart Chain. That's one of the burns. The second burn event is going to be our continuous burn event that's going to happen for the life of the coin. And that is the vote to burn. And so it has the same principle as the buy to burn. For every IM purchased, some IM gets burned. But in this example, for every IM that gets bought, 0.1 IM will be burned. And if the community votes to not burn, it's up to the community. And everybody who holds $42 USD of IM in their wallet gets to vote. And they're going to be able to vote through the app and through the website. It's going to be beautiful. If they vote to not burn, then the rate goes up to 0.35 and then 0.65. And then finally on the fourth quarter, it's a full 1-to-1. One purchased equals one burnt. And that burn doesn't come from the community. It actually comes from the Vault wallet, which is the largest holder. And what we're going to do, live stream events. We're going to be team burn, team no burn. So it keeps the community engaged on a quarterly basis. And B, for the new crypto user, they never have to get into that. But if they do, it's the intro to game theory. Because going 0 to hex is like, but it's a little bit of game theory, just enough to get someone addicted.
It's just nice psychologically knowing that the total supply starts at X. And then like right now, you're saying if I go off and buy 1 million internet money on Binance, 2 million internet money on Pulsechain is burnt, correct?
Correct.
So you can single-handedly yourself, if you want to lower this supply, go out and buy billions and billions. And right now, filming this podcast in late January of 2022, hopefully we're going to look back in a year or two from now and laugh at this, because right now you can buy for every dollar USD. How many internet money could I buy on a Binance chain right now if I wanted to?
$1, you could buy 39,911,788.
39 million with $1. And if I bought a couple billion,
1 billion would cost you $25.
There we go. That puts in perspective, because I love the bees. The fact that you can get billions of tokens for 20, 30, 40 bucks right now is pretty awesome, because people love high numbers. It's not really attractive or sexy to say I have 0.002 Bitcoin.
Exactly.
People love whole numbers. So if you can say I've got, 100 billion internet money, and we're burning and burning and burning, years from now, the supply gets cut 25%. It's pretty awesome. You mentioned the buy and burn, not to be confused with a vote and burn. Just to recap, it's basically game theory meant to rival inflation. If you hold a USD balance of $42 or more, you could participate in these quarterly burns of internet money, correct?
Correct.
And you mentioned publicly that you love Pulsechain, and it's basically your focus. And it was one of the things that clicked my mind. I'm like, oh, this is great to hear him mention Pulsechain, because you and your team, it's not just about a cryptocurrency internet money. You guys want to onboard people into Pulsechain. That's a big deal to me and other hexagons, because you're not just using Pulsechain to promote internet money. You actually want to see Pulsechain be successful. So my point is, even if you didn't create internet money, you would still be heavy into Pulsechain.
Already am. Me and the whole team. We're huge Pulsechain sacrificers all day one. Well, we sacrifice multiple times, but all on day one. So there's 4. There's myself, the founder. There's 3 co-founders, and then Victor, the developer. So 5 total right now.
I'd like to unpack the app with a little more detail, if you can. You'll have a mobile app and a website app with the goal of basically onboarding people to this ecosystem. People have obviously a MetaMask wallet and different wallets on the laptop or something. Can you tell us the details about the app?
Sure. So there's some details that can't be released yet. That is the secret sauce, but I will give you the details we're releasing as of now.
Okay.
So unlike MetaMask, so if you download MetaMask, you're automatically connected to the Ethereum blockchain. And then you have to enter in your RPC settings. You have to get transferred over to Pulsechain, just an extra step. And it's a native Ethereum wallet. we're building a native Pulsechain wallet. From the moment you download the app, we're going to give you some clean, easy security and tips on how to save your seed phrase. And then you're going to be connected to the Pulsechain. And as an extra incentive to give people to download the app, we're going to be airdropping them free Pulse and free IM for every app download.
Nice.
And it'll be enough Pulse for them to transact with. It'll be enough IM for them to transact with. And because our wallet will also have PulseX integration, so you'll be able to swap right from the wallet. Even if you're onboarding someone into Pulsechain that is, hey, I don't really care about crypto. You're at dinner, download the app and send me the free IM you get, and I got your burger. Your burger's on me. So there's place for it, whether someone's going to be a long-term crypto user or not.
Mm-hmm. That's great, man. And I love the idea of an app. It's almost like, for me, I don't like to have any crypto on my cell phone. Mm-hmm. I think it's always just felt dangerous. I think it opens you up to be compromised. And Papa Boner, one of the big guys that talks to people constantly in Telegram, he's great with security, mentioned that. Like, don't put crypto on your phone. So it scared me a little bit. So since you're going to have a mobile app, I mean, this is going to be a big part of the adoption. Me sitting down with friends, introducing someone to crypto using an app would be perfect. So The adoption model, how safe from a security standpoint can this application be?
Well, we're taking security measures, and for security measures, we're not talking about all the security measures to not open that risk, but it's going to be as secure as a mobile wallet can be. And nothing trumps the security of a hardware wallet. And there will be hardware wallet integration into the mobile app as well.
Great. Okay.
Also, here's another benefit. If someone doesn't like doing crypto on their phone, totally understand, not offended. Download the app, get the free internet money, send it off the app. And then we've still accomplished onboarding somebody into Pulsechain. We have a new Pulsechain wallet.
Right.
We still accomplished the mission. The mission is onboard new crypto users into Pulsechain. We still win.
Right. That's a great point. So even if I'm speaking to someone, I'm out hanging out with friends, it's been always the biggest hurdle for me, just trying to explain crypto and how to get them into it. Because if you're going from your checking account into Coinbase and trying to get a different crypto, or explain to them, hey, you can get USDC for free and move it over to Ethereum, and then you got an Ethereum wallet and a MetaMask, and it's rough, man. If I can tell you, download Internet Money, the app, and I'm going to send you some Internet Money, I'm going to send you some Pulse, that is such a better sell for someone to introduce them to crypto than going through all those steps. Because I've spent hours on the phone talking to someone, even in front of my computer, have two computers side by side, walking people through crypto. And it really does suck. We need a better way. So, man, I hope this is going to work. If it does work, this is going to be pretty spectacular. If someone's hearing this now and they want to get involved and they're a heavy hitter, do you have any kind of funding phase going on right now, as far as if someone wants to reach out to you with some big numbers, like what would they do?
We do have an investors package. And if somebody was serious about funding this project, they can definitely contact me. I'll jump on a phone call anytime and walk them through our investor package. It is very, very sweet. We have an investor's black paper and a non-investor's black paper.
Okay.
So one of the black papers covers all this. We just didn't push that one out on the website and stuff.
And I encourage people who are creating things on Pulsechain to reach out to all of us, because the community is looking for projects to get into. When I've got Pulse and hopefully get some, loan tokens and get involved in liquid loans and other projects like that, once we've accumulated these SAC phase and hopefully kind of goes viral and gets crazy, I think a lot of us are going to be looking to get into projects and support other hexagons and pulsecons. So I think this is going to be great, man. I think the enthusiasm that you got behind this, and the sophistication, the professionalism with Victor, and the black paper, and you got a website right there. I'm actually going to bring the website in here right now for people who want to take a little peek at this. It's imcrypto.net. And basically they can check out your Reddit, your Telegram, your Twitter. and they can learn about some of the things we've talked about today, with the burn features and stuff. But I mean, in closing, man, this has been a blast to me. I feel like I'm learning more about IM than I did in the previous couple of weeks doing research and stuff. It's just great to be face to face and talking to someone and being able to ask you any questions. None of this is scripted, and the questions that I'm asking KG, he didn't know any of this stuff beforehand. So it's great to have someone. We need more transparency, more honesty, less scam. If people will seriously want to get in touch with you, is it okay if they reach out to me, if I give them your specific Telegram name to give you a DM?
Absolutely. 100%. I'm on Telegram most of the day, so feel free to Telegram me anytime. I'm happy to jump on phone calls too. I'll type if you're a typer. I'll talk if you're a talker.
Okay, awesome. You can't be more accessible than that. I wanted to give you just a few minutes. The floor is yours. If you wanted to share anything else, or maybe something that I maybe forgot to ask, is there anything else that people should know about internet money that we didn't touch on?
I guess the biggest thing that I want to highlight, and the biggest takeaway that I want viewers to walk away with, is there are many great projects coming to Pulsechain. Like you said, Liquid Loans, we've got Hedron, we've got Pulseverse, and I'm sure there's some that I didn't even name. But we've got a lot of great projects coming to Pulsechain. One thing these projects do not accomplish, though, is none of them target the new crypto user. They all target people who are already in the ecosystem. Internet money is as simple as it gets, and it targets the new money for our blockchain. And I say our blockchain because at the end of the day, we are Pulsicans. We like to call ourselves Pulse Chainers. We're Pulse Chainers, and we want to see this blockchain succeed. We believe in Richard Hart. We believe in his products. We believe in the ecosystem, and we are just doing our part. So we're bringing on new people, giving them the means to onboard, and that is a very essential part to this whole thing.
Yeah, I don't know if something could be more important than onboarding. KG, I thank you for your time, man. I really appreciate it. I know we've been trying to do this for maybe a week or so now, and there's been some things that came up on my end. We couldn't do this, but just you being accessible and always available is just refreshing. The excitement behind Pulsechain and projects on it, I think it's going to be the premier blockchain in the world.
Agreed.
Probably in its first year. So I'm excited you're going to be over there on it. I'm excited for Internet Money and the team behind it. So I appreciate your time, and I really thank you for coming on the podcast, man.
Thank you for having me. And again, thank you for doing this. This is also very important because you're getting the word out there. So thank you for all your time too.
You're welcome, man. I appreciate it. So, I mean, this is the Pulsechain Podcast, episode number 5. That was KG. He's the founder of Internet Money. Internet Money, to me, was basically what Bitcoin tried to be. Peer-to-peer digital cash. But unlike slow Bitcoin, Internet Money is going to operate on the best, fastest, cheapest blockchain there is, Pulsechain. And the idea of having no admin keys, no inflation, no taxes is what true DeFi was always meant to be. The only function that you can do with Internet Money is buy, sell, and trade it. My number one favorite thing about this is the ability to finally be able to get people into crypto seamlessly. And with the app he's talking about, if it works correctly, this is going to be the ultimate onboarding tool. You have a 5-minute conversation with a friend. They download the app, and then in real time, I can send them 100 Internet Money tokens. And also, as KG was saying, they also get Pulse tokens to pay for the transaction. So this way, they have the app. They also have real money and the ability to use it right there. The entire process was basically free and fast because of Pulsechain. So explaining MetaMask and having someone install MetaMask on their computer and then switching networks from Ethereum over to Pulse, it's just brutal. This is how crypto was supposed to be. And if this app works, it's going to be a savior for all of us in crypto. If you like this kind of content and want to support the Pulsechain Podcast, please consider leaving a like and a subscribe, and reach out to us on Spotify and Amazon Music, Pandora, wherever podcasts are played. If we get creators and people who are into crypto to understand this podcast and to get it out to people, this could be a huge success for Pulsechain and everybody that's in Pulsechain, your bags included. So thank you all for your time. Thanks for listening to the Pulsechain Podcast. This is Matty Crypto, and I will catch y'all on the B side.